Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me here today. Now, before we get started, I have a quick question. Do you know what this is? Maybe if I pull it a bit closer you can see. I'm going to give you a very big clue. You can eat it. Do you know what it is? Have you guessed it? That's right. It was a grape. And I don't know if you know this about grapes, but they can be turned into wine. That's pretty cool. And in today's story, we're going to be learning all about how Jesus performs a miracle with not grapes, but water and turning them into wine. And miracles are awesome because they show us that Jesus is God's chosen king. But before we get into that, let's set the scene a little because today's miracle is at a wedding. Now, I don't know about you, but I love a good wedding. I love the celebration. I love seeing family. I love seeing friends. I love the food. And I really love a little bit of a dance at the end of the night. What do you love? Have a think. Now, if you were to plan the perfect wedding, what would you include? Would you include a cheese fountain or a chocolate fountain? And for that nighttime dancing, would you plan a disco or a band? Have a think. Well, today's story is set at a wedding that Jesus went to. Let's find out some more now. Today's story is Jesus turns water into wine. Enjoy.
One day, Jesus was at a wedding in Cana, Galilee, with his mum and his disciples, when something terrible happened. Mary suddenly discovered that the wedding had run out of wine. This was a disaster. Mary turned to the servants at the wedding and said, "Do whatever Jesus tells you." Nearby there were 6 huge stone jars, so big that the water from them would have filled 5 bathtubs. The water in these was normally used for hand and foot washing, definitely not for drinking. Jesus told the servants, "Fill the jars with water." So they did. Next, Jesus told the servants to take out some water and give it to the head waiter. So they did. The head waiter, who knew nothing of what had gone on, was amazed at how delicious his drink was. In fact, he said to the bridegroom, "Everyone normally brings out the finest wine first, but you have saved the best till last." Jesus had turned water into wine. Jesus did something amazing and saved the wedding, but much more importantly, he showed us that he has power to perform miracles. Jesus is God's chosen king, and we know this because he can perform miracles. Wow.
Welcome back. Now, for those of you that know me, I do actually fancy myself as a little bit of a magician. So, today's story was all about turning water into wine. So I've got my wine glass here. I've got my water. Oh, what? Water into wine? Okay, that was a total trick. I'll be honest with you, I hid some red food colouring at the bottom. But it still tastes good. So I just performed a trick. But Jesus, he performed a miracle. Amazing, right? Well, what is a miracle? So Here's my take on miracles. A miracle is when something extraordinary happens, something that isn't normally possible. Now, in the Bible, miracles happen because of God's amazing power. And Jesus did something extraordinary, didn't he, when he performed the miracle of turning water into wine. Now, he really did it. I just did a trick. So Jesus, wow, that is amazing. In fact, our memory verse today is all about how miracles can display God's power and show us who Jesus is as God's chosen king. This is it. It's from Psalm 77, verse 14, and it says, "You are the God who performs miracles. You display your power among the people." That's, you are the God who performs miracles. You display your power among the people. So Jesus turned water into wine, which was a miracle. But why did Jesus perform this miracle? In verse 11 of today's story in the Bible, it says that he did this so that he would reveal his glory and we might believe. So why did Jesus perform this miracle of turning water into wine? Well, it was nice that he helped out and he did save the wedding. But much more important, he did it to show that he was God's chosen king. Knowing that, what are we supposed to do? What did it say? It said, so that we might believe. Now, you've got all kinds of fun crafts and activities to do next. But let's have a little think. A little challenge to you is, who do you think this miracle shows Jesus is? Does it show him as a great magician, or does it show him as God's chosen king? And if he is God's chosen king, then what are you meant to do? I hope you have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your time together. And thanks for learning with me today. Bye-bye.